Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's having a good Thursday. A little bit wet, but pray that you've had a restful night and ready to start another day. Let me get the thing started. There we go. We're going to continue on talking about some thoughts that the Lord gave us based on the message that He gave Pastor on Sunday, which was wonderful. Greatly enjoyed it. But he's talking about the out of John and 14. I believe in a place called heaven, and it's part of the I Believe series that he's been preaching. And so I'm going to talk today about one of the last points that he had, the motivation. And as a coach, I understand the importance of motivation, why we do what we do, and that's kind of what we want to look at from the scripture here. And you can see this person here on this clock running, and then the carrot being dangled in front. And so what is the carrot that you chase? What is it that dangles in front of you to motivate you to do what you do? And that's what we want to look at. But as I said before, it's coming out of John 14. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. And that was kind of the base scripture that the pastor was using there Sunday. But he also alluded to these verses that followed. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And here's where we got the theme for, or where he got the theme for, the motivation. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again. And so you stop it right there. You either believe that or you don't believe that. There's no philosophy involved, no theology involved. Either you believe, I believe that Christ is going to come again, that he is going to prepare a place for us, and that he's coming again, or you don't believe it. And the problem with it is so many times we say we believe that, but we live like we don't. And I say we because I myself and have been guilty of that in the past as well. It says, and I'll receive you into myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. And so I think of that as motivation. What continues to keep us doing the things in which we do. The carrot that's dangled, and I mentioned this a little bit Sunday night when I was teaching as far as the ministry, and standing in front of people and doing those things doesn't really bother me. I guess I've been a school teacher now, just finished up 26 years. I've been in front of people in one form or fashion before. So the standing in front of people does not intimidate me, but the fact that, standing in the presence of God and doing his work, that is very intimidating. I know he says, I'll never leave you and I'll never forsake you. And that if he calls us, he's going to be right there with us through it all. But it's still, ministry is hard. And Pastor mentioned that before, just the last several weeks of him that he talked about and how hard it had been for him. And so I guess my point is this, as a minister, earthly rewards, there's not a lot. The reward is knowing that lives are changed for eternity. But I think that most ministers, and I think most Christians would agree that our motivation for living the life that Christ has lived, called us to live, and staying in that in the trenches of doing his work, of staying in, committed to what he's called us to do. And again, it's not just ministers, it's open to everybody who's accepted their call as a Christian. And what motivates us is the fact that, number one, Christ is coming again. Okay. And he's going and he's preparing a place for us. And that place is the place that Pastor was talking about Sunday morning, heaven. And I think of the motivation of that, on this side of eternity, yeah, we'll have some pats on the backs and attaboys and some good jobs and stuff along the way. Um, you know, and we can take joy and pride in the fact that we maybe have helped to change. We planted the seed and God gave the increase, and someone's life has been changed for eternity. Um, but the motivation of it is this: is that Christ is gone to prepare a place, and that He's coming back again to get us. Um, and we want to be found living and doing what He's called us to do. And then the last scriptures here that we'll share, Matthew 6:19, and Pastor shared these as well. It says, "Lay not up for yourself treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourself treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust nor doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." And it's so easy to look at those verses and think of monetary value. What do you invest your money in? But look at it from a time standpoint. And this is something I have to remind myself of quite often. What am I putting my time into? Nothing that you can invest on in this earth of this world is going to last. Nothing. The only thing you can invest in is eternity. And so it's a good question for us to ask. What is it that's motivating us? What is it that you're chasing? What have you put treasures on in this earth? Or who have you put it as a treasure? Maybe it's a person you chase. Maybe it's a title you chase. Maybe it's, the applause of man, whatever it might be. It clearly says right here, that it's going to rust, it's going to corrupt, or you're one day away from thieves breaking in, taking everything that you've stored up. But in heaven, no one can take the things of eternity, the investments we make for God. We'll reap the benefits of those. Sometimes on this side of eternity, but for sure when this life is over. I love you. Pray that you have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you Sunday morning.